Greetings everyone. I'll continue my threads about financial markets, and now we have time for a new thread, and this thread actually is probably the most common, most common thread, because it affects every one of us who are living relatively normal lives. Why? Because this topic is investing, and I would tell you one thing. All of us are investors. Like maybe speculative trading or something like that is a niche thing, and I would seriously say that if you don't want to make serious effort to it and act to it professionally, you shouldn't really be trading or considering some money making opportunities with leverage products and so-called alternative investments such as forex, futures, options, of course crypto, and even individual stock trading, because there is extremely good probability that you will lose your money. You have to have proper education and mindset and time and resources for that. But here's the thing, like it or not, at some point you are investor. We all are investors because we have certain income, whether they are higher or they are low, and we are spending our time and energy to think, what should we do with that income? What will be the best way, how you allocate those proceeds somewhere, whether those are purchases, some short-term or long-term, usual, like important or unimportant, whatever, whether they help you or they actually harm you, doesn't matter, but you are thinking about it and making decisions. And every one of us has made at least thought to what would happen if you would spend that money more wisely and what return could it bring. Now, it might be tangible or intangible, that return, like you could make sauna in your backyard if you have a house. This is investment into your health and into your well-being. You could make investment into your car or expensive suit or jewelry that would make your social status a bit more elevated for at least some time, or you could go to some cultural event or visit abroad, which could expand your intellect or just simply make your new emotions and experience. So these are all investments, but of course we are talking here about more tangible things, and this is investments to produce more money. And we all have thought about that either. I'm certain about it, but really small percentage of people have actually done it, at least in Northeastern Europe. In America it's a bit different because there is strong culture of investing which spans for generations. So this is no surprise there when people have their retirement funds, pension funds, savings funds and whatnot, which are allocated to financial markets, maybe in the form of treasury, savings, bonds, some sort of real estate trusts, or of course stocks and index funds. But it depends on geography and many other things. So this is the question every one of us has to answer. What's the best way and best option how to invest and where to invest? Now, let's start with simples. You can invest in securities and intangible businesses, but here's the thing, I probably wouldn't be covering things like real estate, small-time businesses, actual business deals, or some business ventures outside the financial markets, because their topics would be endless. Because you could buy an apartment and rent it with Airbnb, you could, I don't know, buy old cars and restore them and sell it to higher value, you could buy small and economic cars and rent it, you could, I don't know, do every kind of thing. You could invest in almost every kind of business venture as a direct partner or via form of crowd estate, crowd financing. Crowd estate is part of crowding. Real estate crowdfunding is a part of crowd financing, so correction here. And their possibilities are endless, and we could make like a video of how to restore fancy cars and sell it, or series of real estate, which is probably everyone was doing actually for a long time before interest rates started to rise. Let's see how they would go in the next couple of years, but that's a different story. We'll talk here about financial markets, of course, because my channels are made for financial markets, and there we will see where you can actually invest, because if you have salary or some sort of passive or other type of income, whether you are athlete, businessman, employee, whatever, you probably have bank account, and there in that bank account you could invest, you could listen to your broker or your representative of your bank, and he will tell you smart things of how you could invest in their products, and that their products are far superior than other products, and they could offer you anything from trading to retirement funds. But what they probably fail to show you that they have pretty hefty fees, and probably they are not including all products that there are, but simply products that is easier to sell for them, and they mostly likely are making commission out of that. So there is that fundamental conflict of interest of people who are pushing their own products just to make their own fees, and what's actually good. Now, as a professional, I have made investment plans and asset allocation models for dozens of people, mostly wealthy individuals who have made well for themselves and who has their sense and realistic assumptions of what they could make and actually what they can lose. And I will make my future trades based on that, based on the fact that someone has made relatively well for himself, or at least they have income and they could make proportion of those income to be invested in some investment vehicles such as index funds and whatnot. And if you want to see how that would look, what to do if you have certain income which you could allocate for either for any day or to grow that capital in something serious, you certainly watch my videos, because as I told you previously, we are all subject for that. We all have to invest somewhere, because those decisions are important for us in this time and age, because we have to think about our savings, we have to think about our retirement. And like it or not, whether you are someone who is not interested in money, but you still are forced to think about ways how to generate your wealth, because this is essential to modern Western society. This is essential how to make best of your funds and how to use it wisely. And yes, I will show you just that. Now, in very simple terms, I will give you a couple of introduction in the investments into financial markets for a couple of minutes, and then in next videos I will go deeper there. First things first, you can invest in two ways: as an active investor or passive investor. Active investor is someone who does his own research and makes his own portfolios by actively searching and analyzing most likely stocks and fixed income products, most likely bonds, but nowadays it has expanded to many products of investment funds. So this is what you do if you're an active investor. You are doing your research, doing your analysis and making your own judgments. You're doing that because you're thinking you could seriously outperform market. And this is the really only single reason why you should do it. Because if you have valid case, if you could beat the markets, you have to do it. Otherwise, if you don't have time for that, don't bother. You wouldn't be able to do it anyways. I will tell you examples in next videos. And second way, actually the way most people should have to approach financial markets with their savings is by means of passive investing. Now here the drill is more simpler. You simply have some lump sum or some fixed sum which you could allocate each month or quarter, and you simply have to find the best investment funds which could bring returns which is acceptable with the risk you take. Most common answer here is treasuries or index funds, and it might seem simple, but actually it's not that simple, because there are a lot of nuances there, how to better do it, which broker to choose, how to manage your overall savings, what to do with taxes, what are commissions, should you time the markets, what's the best time to invest, and others questions. But here's the thing, principles are rather straightforward and simple, and if you know how to crack them, that becomes automatic process. And also I will tell you a lot about this method as well. So here's the thing, I had some brief philosophical debate about why you should invest, and that there are not only one type to invest, and Stay tuned for my videos where I will show you ways how to do it. Bye.